Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 5. For this week, we don't have a lecture, okay? This week, we're focusing on workshopping your poems and giving each other feedback and then submitting your first end of unit portfolio, okay? Since this requires a bit of work, both creatively and giving feedback, I do not assign journals on workshop weeks. So weeks where workshops and portfolios are due, I will not assign journals, okay? Keep in mind that these are mandatory assignments. Everybody must turn in some feedback to their group members and a portfolio in order to receive, at minimum, at least a C in the course. So if you don't do any of the journals, that's fine, but you do have to do these assignments if you want to pass this class, okay? So first, you'll go to Canvas and you'll find the homework for week 5. If we select Poetry Draft Portfolio Workshop, you have your instructions for how to give feedback to your peers, okay? So Poetry Draft Portfolio Workshop, submit your work by Tuesday. So that means that your work is your portfolio. So your portfolio will be 3 poems. Those poems could come from the journals that you've already written. So if you have been posting in your creative journals, you can then use those poems in this draft, this portfolio draft that you submit to your workshop peers. I am assuming, though, that you did get some feedback when you posted them in your journal. So to make the best poems you can, perhaps you want to incorporate some of that feedback first before you get more feedback on those poems, okay? So maybe incorporate some of the advice you got in those journals, in those poems, revise them a bit, submit the 3 poems in the discussion for this assignment, and then your 3 other workshop members will respond to that draft. And then on Monday, March 1st, you will submit a revised 3 poems, which will be your portfolio, okay? So Tuesday, please make sure you submit your 3 poems. It will be a draft of your poetry portfolio with the intention to have it workshopped by 3 other members of your group. You will provide feedback to your assigned group by Friday, okay? So you submit as the poet, you will submit your 3 poems by Tuesday. And then as a workshop member, you will respond to 3 of your workshop members by 2/26, which is on Friday. And that means so that you and they have the whole weekend to revise your 3 poems before you submit them for your portfolio. So each student will be in a feedback group with 3 other students, so that will be 4 total. In order to receive credit, you must complete both parts of the assignment. Okay, so the first part is to submit a draft of your portfolio, okay? That's 3 poems. And again, you can pull them from your journal. That's totally fine. Please do not turn in work that you've worked on before this class, okay? Because I would like it to be relevant to the instructions and the topics we were discussing in this class. Okay, so also then you need to write and post a 200-word response to 3 other students in your group. Okay, at this point you might be wondering, who is in my group? Well, you select that link right there. And here are the groups, okay? So there are 6 groups total. One group has 5 people in it, okay? Because that's just how it broke down with the amount of people, okay? And so group 1 is Brittany, Confucius, Kavina, and Maria, right? And then group 2 are these 4, and group 3 are those 4, okay? So for example, Brittany might turn in her portfolio, right, to the discussion, and then these 3 members here, Confucius, Kavina, and Maria, will respond with a 200-word response to Brittany, okay? And then that way she'll have 3 critiques All right. 200-word critiques in response to her work. If you would like to submit also maybe a Google Doc where it's shared among people, where you put their email in and, you can do that and people can give inline feedback in response, but that might be a little complicated. If you want to learn how to do that and your group wants to do that, just contact me through email and I will show you how you can use Google Docs to give feedback in the margins. But if that's not something you're necessarily interested in, for online class, it's perfectly acceptable to just give 200-word response, as long as they provide specific feedback. Okay. So feedback. While praise is important and necessary, you must spend the majority of your response giving critical feedback on your peers' work. It's very easy to just say everything was wonderful in 200 words, right? But we want to do better. We want to, show our skills as a critical reader and a critic. And we also want good critical feedback on our own work, and because that's how we get better. So don't just give praise, because that doesn't necessarily help people. Now, praise is important. You can spend some time on praise, okay? But make sure you focus specifically on constructive criticism. So feedback that is general, only offering praise or generalizations, will not receive full credit for the assignment. To ensure you provide sufficient feedback, follow the workshop guidelines. And here are some questions to help you formulate your 200-word response to your peer. Okay. Workshop questions are right here. What can be eliminated to improve the sound or meaning of the poem? What is the relationship of the title to the poem? Is it connected in meaning in some way? Does it provide the setting or context for the poem? Is the poem humorous? Right? So these kinds of questions will help you develop a response to your peer. So you would just find those workshop guidelines here. You can also get those workshop questions. It's attached to this assignment, okay? And then if you would like to have a live workshop instead of a written feedback workshop, or you'd still need to respond and submit the 200 word response, but you can follow it up with a live Zoom session. If you would like to do that, please contact me, you and your group, and I can arrange for you to have a Zoom session that you can meet live and give each other feedback. That is the traditional model for a workshop. Everybody would read their stuff out loud, and then people would start giving feedback verbally and in writing. But given this is an online course, and we have some restrictions, I wasn't going to force everyone to show up on a Zoom channel at the same time. That wouldn't be necessarily fair. But if your group is available at the same time and you want to do that, please let me know and I will make that happen. So that is the first part of the assignment, okay? Your workshop for your portfolio. March 1st, which is a Monday, you must upload your draft poetry portfolio, okay? So after you get your feedback, you revise your 3 poems based on the feedback that you received during workshop. And on Monday, you will submit that end of unit portfolio, okay? You will upload a PDF, and then I will give you feedback, all right? This is where kind of grading comes in. As long as you turn in those 3 poems and they are on topic based on what we talked about during this unit, you will get all of the points. You will get 100%, okay? And then that frees me up for being able to just give you honest feedback, not attached to a grade. So, the feedback will be critical. It will provide lots of advice and maybe some readings you can do, and which ways you might want to take that poem or those 3 poems, okay? But again, as long as you fulfill the terms of the assignment, you will get 100%, which is kind of awesome, okay? But just make sure you have it in on time. I don't accept late work. This is due on March 1st by 11:59 p.m., okay? And then that will be your first unit portfolio. Again, there are no journals this week. So all of your work is focused on workshopping. and revising your portfolios for the March 1st deadline. If you have any questions, please email me. I have my office hours. My computer got fixed, so I can, I will be on Zoom on Tuesday. If you can't make it that day, please email me and I can make it on Zoom at another time. That's best for you. Okay. All right, guys. Well, good luck. Let me know if there's any issues, and happy writing.